Okay, so I think I'm recording. Okay. All right. Hey, you guys. Okay, so Monique and I are super excited to be co-hosting tonight's Team Huddle with you guys. We are so excited for tonight. We are going to be interviewing a couple of our new executives who have quickly, jumped in and promoted, Heather Brooke and Tracey Hunt. So we'll just jump right in. We will go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and then we will get started. So Heather, if you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, just kind of share, your story and how you got started, and then we'll jump over to Tracey.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. Hey, I'm Heather. I'm from Gulf Shores. I've been in the business for quite a few months now. I watched a girl on social media that I went to high school with for a while. And, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Everything that she's doing, I was like, I'd love to be a part of that. So I jumped on the bandwagon, and I'm so excited about it. I just hit my first promotion. I'm now an executive running for Ruby. So let's hope that comes soon. I have two daughters, Mackenzie and Cadence, and yeah, they're the reason why I started this. So it's a little bit about myself. Nice to meet all y'all and see y'all tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm super nervous right now, so just bear with me. Okay.
Perfect. And then Tracey, if you would like to unmute yourself and then share your story.
Hello, my name is Tracey. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have 3 adult children, several grandchildren. I think I've actually lost count. I joined the business because I call her my sister. She's my cousin, Monique Young. I had seen her on social media. I've always followed her, but when she was going through her cancer battle, and she joined the business, I had just been watching her post and seeing her grow. And she asked me quite some time ago, and I just kept saying, no, I don't want to, no. And then I think she asked me to do a hoster post for her. And I did that, and then she came back and she was like, now look at all those responses. Now you could do this too. And so I thought, you know what? Let me give it a try. So I think I've been in the business, I want to say June or July, not that long, but just got my first promotion, and hopefully, now I'm not going to say hopefully, I'm going Ruby this month for sure. And that's just a little bit about me.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Tracey, we're going to ask you the first question. When you were new, I know it's easy to feel like you're overwhelmed. What was something that made you feel overwhelmed about getting started, and what did you do to overcome it?
Oh, my God. Just to be quite honest with you, posting was overwhelming for me. Not even knowing where to start, what to post. Because I remember you saying, well, you need to get your first post out there. And for me, it was being grammatically correct. Like, I didn't want to sound dumb. I didn't want to sound my English to be broken English, because I was always used to posting, as social media. So I always would put ... or, just wasn't grammatically correct. And so that was one of the things that I was really nervous, didn't know what products to post because there's so many. But I remember going to Monique, asking her on several occasions, like, what should I say? What should I post? What should I do? And the first thing she told me was post something that you are familiar with, that you use, that you love, that you like, one of the products that you use. So that kind of, that helped me tremendously, because then when people come back and ask you about that product, you know about it. You can be sincere and say, hey, this gave me energy. I was a person that would be at my computer and head be about to hit the computer screen. But once I tried, when I tried that keto energy, man, it gave me life.
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, and posting can be so overwhelming. And so if you just kind of take it one post at a time, you break down a schedule, and like next thing, like I remember I had to have reminders. I was just talking to somebody about this, but I had reminders set in my phone all throughout the day to remind me to post until it, like, finally after a few months I was like in a good schedule. I had it down, and then I could finally like delete those reminders. But that definitely can be really overwhelming. So I love that. So that kind of takes us into the next question. And so Heather will send this one over to you. But what was one of the biggest obstacles that you had in getting started, and what did you do to overcome it?
Okay, one of my biggest obstacles was like just kind of being vulnerable and posting about it on social media, and like letting people know the real me and showing like my daily life and stuff. And going live and still a big thing for me. I'm still working on that obstacle, and just showing people like, everybody's not perfect and stuff like that, and letting people know the real me, so that they see that it's okay, like I am a real person, like, everything that I do is, normal and stuff, that I'm not just like in this, for nothing, that, just showing them like I love the products, just like about my family and everything. And I've started doing more videos, and like doing this, I think, is helping me conquer my obstacle and stuff, talking with people and knowing people that are like watching me right now and stuff. I'm probably going to like stutter a couple of times. It just makes me a little nervous. But that was my biggest thing. You can fix pictures and stuff like that, but when you go live, it's like, all right, people know this is you, like they know how you really are, like, stuff happens. And I think that's been like one of my biggest obstacles, and I'm still working on it.
Well, I think with that, it's not a problem, because you have to just be yourself. You want people to, when you do your lives and stuff like that, any of those little things that happen, you just go with the flow with it, because you want people to really just see who you are. So don't look at that as being an obstacle, really just feed off of it, because the more people see that you're being yourself, the more that they're going to feel like you're just not an ad, like you're just not out there trying to sell them something. They're going to look at you like you're a real person. So that's, just go with the flow. Don't even let that be an obstacle for you. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Yes. So, Tracey, the next question will be for you. And what is one tip that you would give to a newbie? Like something that you feel like you wish you would have known right off the bat, like when you first started, that maybe you didn't realize or wasn't told about in the beginning?
Oh boy. What's one thing? It's several things, but what I first would like to say, in all honesty, is I think a lot of people, even myself, when you come into this business, I believe there's a misconception of thinking it's going to be easy. You think that you're going to come into this thing and you're going to make this money, and it's just going to be, you ain't going to have to do much. Like, it's not a real job, in other words. And it is. One thing that I had wrote down was that it's not going to be easy peasy. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you don't put in that, you're not going to get anything out of it. Mm-hmm. continuously, posting and posting about the product, just like you said, to me, letting people see who you are and that it's not like you're not a commercial. That was one thing that I had a hard time with, like continuing to post. I'm like, I don't, it really is fear. It's fear, and fear of what people gonna think, fear of what people gonna say, fear. And I think I posted about it the other day because I could hear my pastor saying, fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. What am I afraid of? So what if they don't like what I say and they don't like what I do? I mean, they can take me off their friends list. So you have to just kind of go push beyond the fear of what people might say or what people might think to get to your destination or to get to what God has for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say to let them know that it's work. It's a real job. It's work. You got to put it out.
I can see how that can kind of be, because of course what I get from a lot of people when I post is that you just make it look so easy. And I think that might be where the misconception comes in at. I mean, it is a job. I mean, it is about what you're putting in and what you're going to get out of it. I think that people think because it's a work from home position, you're working from your phone, that it's just going to be, you post this and then you just going to get a check. Well, it don't work like that, So there is some work, there is a craft to it, there is a lot of faith involved, and there is a lot of consistency involved. I don't think it's hard work per se, but it is consistent work.
I agree with you. Consistency.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tracey, a couple things that you said. So Brittany, when I first was asking my million questions to Brittany before I jumped in, one of the things she told me was that if you work it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. And if you work it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. So everybody can do it at their own pace. Some people do this full time. Some people work a full-time job and do this as, a side thing just for that little bit of extra cash, or essentially trying to make it their full-time thing. But however much you put into it is what you will get out of it. And so you get to, I hear it on corporate a lot, or I hear it from corporate a lot, but they say you create your own paycheck. You decide how much you want your paycheck to be. And that's so true. And then the other thing that you said that I liked, so the fear of, what people might think, nobody pays my bills except for me. So this is what I do for my life. This is what I do for my family. And whether or not, people can unfollow me, people can take me off their friends list. But I have to do what I have to do to, pay my bills. Nobody else is going to come in and, pay my PG&E for me. So yeah, I like that a lot. So going into the next question, Heather, when you first started, what is your biggest fear, or what was your biggest fear in starting your business, and how has that impacted your business and your success so far?
Okay, this kind of ties into what we were just talking about. My biggest fear is failure. And I know that's probably a lot of people's, fear. It is. And that's just the daily fear that everybody has, I feel like, And, it's okay to have that fear, but you just got to stay positive and consistent and, pretty much put it in God's hand, and He'll provide for you. So I've just taken that and ran with it, and letting Him lead the way. I've, just gotten more confident and just staying consistent and persistent about everything, just posting daily, doing my 6 steps and stuff like that has helped me, conquer this fear, hitting this promotion, that just, that was it. It's like you are doing something right, you're not failing at this, you're doing it, and that just, takes it and makes me feel better, and it's kind of, letting that fear ease a little bit at a time. So that's definitely, you know, my biggest fear from this, and still is a little bit of a fear that I have, but I'm making it, and
I
I
always
will
say it.
make
I've been
it.
trying to.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. I love that. I love kind of like going back because to look, kind of just, you kind of forget, like, once you've been doing it for a little while, you kind of just like forget what it was like. And so it's always nice to like go back and kind of go back to like, beginning and how it was, and to think about like those fears and stuff. And so it's just cool to see like where we were and what those fears were, and then like how they've evolved over time. And you guys talked about like going live and stuff. um that and this, like, public speaking is absolutely terrifying for me. And so like going live, I actually started going live on Instagram because I didn't have as many people that I know following me on Instagram. So I would like practice on there, and then like I would delete it. But it's cool now to like go back and like now I can like jump on live. I'm still nervous, but I can at least like go live and like just have a whole different level of confidence than where I was before. So it's just really cool to see look at the fears and see how they've evolved over time. Monique, did you want to add anything, or Brittany, we were gonna see if you wanted to jump in and touch on anything. So if either of you guys wanted to.
Yeah, so I love so much, Heather and Tracey, what you guys shared. I think it's always great hearing, you guys' perspective early on in the business and just what you've already learned thus far. I just think that's so encouraging to people who this is their first week in the business. And even people who have maybe been in the business longer and have still been battling with those things. I just appreciate you guys' transparency so much, and I'm so proud of y'all. And one thing I just wanted to, share with you guys, I know I shared a little bit in the live in Fire Tribe that I did yesterday. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. But it was just like a lot of takeaways from the Rise Business Conference. But one thing that I wanted to share with you guys that, every single speaker who is literally, all of the people on stage are at least 8-figure earners, if not, 9 and 10-figure earners. And so that being said, just for those of you guys who aren't good at math, that's like multimillionaires or billionaires. And so every single thing that every single one of them shared was about fear, and about how the fear of failure is what keeps so many people from pursuing their dreams. But that failure is a part of the process. No one just takes a straight shot to the top of the mountain. Every single person has to stumble, has to fall, has to learn from, those things that happen. And that's how they get strong enough, to continue to go further and to, ultimately have that incredible level of success that most people aren't willing to work for. And so I just want to encourage you guys, like, not to let the fear of failure stop you, because every single person, even people who you look up to, whether it's, leaders on this team, whether it's, people like Rachel Hollis, other people that you listen to on YouTube, or, authors of your favorite books, like every single one of them will tell you there was so many failures that they had to, go through before they got to where they are. And so just take that out of your mind right now, that failure is going to make you look dumb, or that failure is going to keep you from anything. The only way that failure like ruins anything for you is if you let it. I heard an incredible quote on one of my audiobooks the other day, and they said, success is never final and failure is never fatal. Like, your success, like, you always have to be hungry for more. Like, don't, let success make you complacent. But then on the other side of that, failure is not going to kill you. No amount of failure you can have can you not get back up from. You can always get back up and build your business stronger than ever, be a better version of you. And so I just want to encourage you guys on here just to take the tips that these ladies shared tonight, and really just, get down, and real with yourself about what is holding you back. And if it's the fear of failure, like, let it go tonight. And if it's the fear of anything else, let that go tonight too. Don't care what other people think, you guys, because other people's opinions are not going to pay your bills. like the girls shared. Other people's opinions of you, at the end of the day, the people who we should care about are the people who are gonna clap when we win. And those people are never gonna judge you. One thing Rachel said that I thought was so good this weekend is she said, you will never ever be criticized by someone who has done more than you. Someone who's achieved more than you in life is not going to take the time to criticize you. The only people who take the time to criticize you are the people who are doing less than you. And she shared, so much about how mediocrity loves company. Mediocrity wants to pull you down because you make them uncomfortable. You make them uncomfortable when you're pursuing more for your life and when you're going after God's best, because it reminds them that they're stuck. And if they don't have the will to get unstuck, then the next best thing for them to do is to criticize you and to hate on you. And so when you understand the psychology of why someone criticizes you, it's actually kind of slightly laughable and slightly like, oh, I feel sorry for them. Like that really stinks for them. And it makes it so much simpler to keep going and have the mindset of, you know what, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And maybe one day it inspires them. Maybe one day it inspires them to get unstuck. I can't tell you how many people in my business that I have had come to me later on and want to join my team that in the beginning, I promise you, were laughing in their head at me and didn't take me seriously, or, had preconceived notions of what I was doing, or whatever you want to call it. But when the timing is right and when God softened their heart, here they are, probably on the Zoom right now. And so you can't, worry about what other people think, because ultimately you're never going to be able to control a 100% approval rate. Like, that's just never going to happen. I promise you, if you sink down to that level and you get those people approval, there will be other people who aren't approving. So you do you, and you go after what you want and what God is putting in front of you unapologetically. And I promise you, every single day you're going to feel stronger. Every single day you're going to feel more confident. And if you need inspiration, you're having a day that you're a little bit down, like, look at all these people around you. Look at all these incredible people, whether they just went executive like Tracey and Heather, or whether they just went diamond, or whether they're, pushing for a VIP, whatever it is. Look at them and remind yourself they're just ordinary women just like me. And if they can do it and they can get up another day and keep pushing, why can't I? So that's all I've got, you guys. I'm so proud of you guys again. Leah, Monique, thank you so much for hosting. You guys did incredible. And thank you so, so much, Heather and Tracey, for just being so vulnerable and just sharing you guys' lessons you've learned and just your tips with everybody. I know everybody got so much from this.
Monique, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, just one more thing. I wanted to say that going back to when Heather said that her fear was failure, one thing that I really love about this business is that no matter how many times that you get down, or maybe your numbers drop, or maybe you are not enrolling as much, or maybe you're just having some struggles with your post or whatever. One thing about this business is you can always start over. It's never like, I failed and I'm done, or I didn't enroll this many people and I'm done, or I dropped in my rank and I'm done. You can always start over. This business, you can just keep starting over as many times as you want to start over, and just recognize what the problems was and fix them, and just keep running. Don't give up. Just stay focused, stay positive, and keep running. Leah, did you have anything else?
I was just, I didn't have anything. I was going to look through the comments to see if there are any questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.